Have you ever thought about a magnetic storage solution for your miniatures? Well, today I'm going to review the A+ case and have a look at their hobby tool storage case. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, today we are going to have a closer look at the A Case Plus magnetic storage solution. Before that though, if you're new to the channel and you would like to keep up to date with the Wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Now, the company is based in Poland. I had a look on their website. The case they wanted to send me was valued around £50 to £55 depending on the conversion rate. Now, he did ask if I would pay postage. Postage cost me £22, so effectively this case is around £70 to £75. Now, he did throw in this case as well, which is the hobby tool case, which I'm going to review at the same time. This review is going to be totally unbiased. I'm going to tell you how it is. Right, let's have a look at these items. Okay, so I thought what I would do first is show you the box. So this is the box, and as you can see, it is pretty big. However, it is quite light. That is it from the side. Now, I believe I've got to assemble this case myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, have a look inside, and I'll be back and have a chat about the contents inside this parcel. Okay, so I've just opened the case, and yes indeed, I've got to assemble this case myself. Now, this is what I received. I've got the outer case itself. Now, I chose an orange one because currently at the moment orange is my favourite colour. However, they do these in lots of different colours. So if I was buying this for my Eldar, for example, I probably would have got a purple one. But pretty cool looking case. I have to be honest, this is smaller than I thought it was going to be. I know it's the smaller of the cases that they produce, but it is smaller than I thought, I have to be honest. So I received that. I've also got the little hobby tool section. We'll have a closer look at this later, but there's loads and loads of room to put all of your little tools in. I'm definitely going to be making good use of that. And then in terms of the actual case itself, that is what I received. So effectively I've got all of the shelves in this little sort of package, and of course I've got to put them together. Now, there's no instruction book in the box. Actually, I'll take that back. I've just opened up the parcel with the shelves in, and in there is an assembly guide. But there is a video of this case being put together on their website. So I'm going to check that video, I'm going to build it, and I'll be back to show you how I got on. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, so it's half an hour later. It took me half an hour to build this. This is almost done. I've got to put it into the canvas case and then add in the shelves and pin them into place. Now, like I said, it took me half an hour. I followed the manual instruction book. However, I did first of all watch some of the video just to get an idea of how it was done. Following the instructions was pretty easy. You just have to take your time. I had no issues with the actual instruction book itself. However, when it came to the end, where I had to put all of the sides together, I did have a struggle with where these little tabs go here. In the end, I decided the tabs had to go on the outside, although it doesn't mention anything in the instruction book. So what I'm going to do now is complete the build of the case, and then we're going to have a closer look at it and the hobby accessory pouch. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the hobby tool storage case. So I've been putting some of my tools in here, and I have to say I'm really impressed with this. This is going to be very useful. I usually have my tools in like a little jar, and it's always absolutely jam-packed. So I'm going to put my tools in here. It's also going to be very useful if I'm travelling or if I want to go to work and do some hobby there. I can take my tools pretty much all in one place. The only thing you can't really get in here is the glue, because once you roll it up it tends to fall out. However, if you were to take it and you wanted the glue, what you could do, I've discovered, is you could just hook that in just there. So you could still take your glue if you wanted to. So very useful that. I am definitely going to use it. Now it works out about £8 excluding postage. So if you were going to get a case, it would probably be worth adding one of these on to your order as you're paying postage anyway. Right, now let's have a look at the case itself. Okay, so this is the A Case Plus. So first of all, let's have a look at the case itself. So you have the pocket just on the back here. Now this is Velcroed. Now of course it's quite a small pocket, so it's not big enough to put a codex in fully. However, as long as it's not raining, you could potentially just put your codex there if you wanted to. But more importantly, I think the pocket is designed for dice, tape measures, maybe a spare pot of super glue, you know, some of the tools that you're going to need to have with you. Now in terms of the straps, it's got a hand strap just at the top and also a shoulder strap. I wish the shoulder strap actually was detachable, because personally I don't like to use shoulder straps. I'd rather just have the hand strap, but obviously a shoulder strap is useful, so it's better to have it than not. I just wish it was detachable. So that's that side. Now on this side here, as you can see, I've got it fully zipped up, and the zip is a nice secure zip. Now I will say that the actual material itself seems to have padding in it. So it's not just a canvas sort of material, there is some padding in it. Now as we open this up, you can see I've got the shelving inside there. Now when you put these shelvings inside the case, as per the instructions, it says it's a very tight fit and it's designed to be tight just to make everything secure. However, when I was putting mine in, because where this is obviously metal corners, I did actually tear the inside of the material a little on one of the sides. Now obviously once you've got this in, you're not going to be taking it out, so it doesn't actually make any difference. But yeah, you do have to be really careful. It is quite awkward to get it in, but once it's in place, then obviously you're good to go. Now you get a good amount of shelves. You get 4 shelves. Now the idea is that they go into the slots at the front, and you push them all the way to the back, and then there's 2 little slots at the back which they just push into. Now even though there's no slots apart from these little ones at the front, when you have it say halfway out, it still doesn't drop. So if you had your models there and you just slid it out to get your models out, then that's doable. You don't have to take the whole shelf sort of all the way out. Sometimes, as you can see, it's a bit awkward getting them into the back. Now you do have the option with these little pins which are supplied to actually put these pins into a hole in the side of the case and into the shelf to actually secure the shelf into place. Now potentially if you're travelling you might want to do that, but obviously if you're actually gaming you are probably going to need to get these shelves in and out, so you wouldn't necessarily keep those pins in all the time. Now in the box you are supplied 100 magnets. You can buy magnets from this company, they have them on the website as well. These magnets are 5 by 2mm and they're nice and strong. So I glued a couple of magnets to the bottoms of my bases. Now these are the perfect size to go into one of the bottoms of the bases there in terms of depth. So I've glued one onto my Wraith and onto my flayed one. Now the great thing about this is it doesn't matter which side the polarity is on your magnets, because this tray itself isn't magnetic, so either side of the polarity will mean that those will magnetize on. Now these are metal models, and even so they are very secure. There's no sliding or anything, so quite happy with those. Now of course the thing that you have to bear in mind is if you have these type of bases, these are resin bases where they're not hollow underneath. If you want to magnetise them onto these trays, you are going to have to drill holes out into the bottom of the bases. So bear in mind, if you are using custom resin bases, that is something to consider. Now I already have some magnetised models, in particular my Necron destroyers, which of course are magnetised onto their flying stems. Now one of those fits on there absolutely brilliantly. However, I have these older destroyers, again with magnets on for the bases, but these don't magnetise on here because the magnet itself is indented, it's not actually flat, so it won't magnetise. So that again is something to consider. You've got to make sure that the magnet itself is touching the actual base. Now in terms of putting bigger models in, that is an option. You could potentially obviously take a couple of trays out and then maybe have one of your bigger models. I've got my Demon Princess here, who would sit in here quite nicely. She doesn't have any magnets on the base, but as you can see, you could use this for some bigger models, maybe for those models which have the potential to break, like this one here. This is my Cryptek, which in a normal foam case potentially could break quite easily. On here, however, where it's touching, absolutely nothing, could store quite well. So you could put some of your bigger, more precious models in here. However, that obviously would take up a good amount of room. I think this case is ideally suited for rows of infantry. I mean, if I took this tray out here, for example, I could probably magnetise a lot of warriors on this case. In actual fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this case for my Necron infantry. You'll be able to get a lot of models in the case, and I think that would in turn would make it better value for money. So let's go table up now and have a little chat about what I think of this case. Okay, so that is the case. Now, as you can see, once it's built up, in terms of the size of the case, it would have actually fitted in the box that they sent it to me in, but of course I had to build it myself. Now, building it wasn't that difficult, however potentially it would have been nice if it was already built, especially for the price that you pay. Now, in terms of the price, as I said, it works out, including postage to the UK, at about £70. Now, the actual case itself is around 50. I think for £50 it's probably very good value for money. However, when you add the postage on top of it, if you're just ordering that one case, I think maybe that comes out at a bit too expensive for the actual case. However, if you're ordering other stuff, and as I said, they do different things on the website, if you're doing a bundle order, then probably the value of the postage would obviously come down the more you order. Now, in terms of the company, I had great communication with them. The order itself came through very quickly, and it was very well packaged. So if you feel you have an interest in this case, maybe even the bigger version, then why not head on over to the website and have a look for yourself. Now, if you're not subscribed, start now, hit the Edit Beer icon, and if you want to find out more about some of the other cases that I use for my armies, check out that video just there. Beam me up!